Welcome, reading 4. You chose Oracle of the Unicorns. So clearly the unicorns were speaking to you today, or maybe it was the feather. Maybe it was the feather. It's magical, isn't it? That something can look like one thing in one way, but you just turn it in the light another way and it looks totally different, right? Do you see the rainbow? Do you see how it shimmers the different colors when it hits the light? Kind of like this labradorite back here. So I'm just feeling a lot of interesting energy with you guys. So I'm going to just dive right in. I'm going to grab right away. I was like, yeah, I want to, this feels good. This feels good. Let me just kind of adjust this back down a little bit. Okay, so you can look at your feather while I shuffle. So as you saw in the reading or in the description, that we are working with the new moon and Sagittarius energy. So what messages do you need to hear from spirit for this new moon cycle, or what advice do you need for this new moon cycle? Okay, spirit, we're calling on the new moon and Sagittarius energy. Okay, so this card fell out, but I just want to make sure before I'm going to shuffle it back in because I can't tell if I dropped it. You know, it's like one of those things. So let's see. Oh, nope. It wants to come out. Okay. So the very first card. Okay. Can I just say, you might have saw it a little bit, but can I just tell you, as a triple Sag, to get this card is amazing. That's what the Sagittarians are all about. Freedom, baby. They need their freedom. I know, as a triple Sag, like, I need my freedom. Live wild and free. Choose your freedom and claim your independence. Oh, that's beautiful. That is really beautiful, you guys. And it looks like, to me, I'm going to pull in a little bit there. Oh, maybe I'll pull. I want to see your feather too. Look at that. I'm like, I feel like the Zoom doesn't know what to do. Like, it's just like, do I go to freedom? Do I go to the crystals? Do I go to the feather? And it's like all of the above. But yeah, I feel like in this new moon, over this Sagittarius moon, reading for you guys, everything's going to change. Everything is going to change. Your whole life is going to change. You're about to explode out of the matrix and into a fantasy world that you have created, that you have designed for yourself. I don't normally read from the book, but I want to see if they want me to. Do you want to read from the book today? Oh, this is a rare pleasure for me indeed, because these cards are very expressive. They have words on the bottom, but once in a while they're like, no, you need the whole picture. So let me get the book. Live wild and free. Choose your freedom and claim your independence. You are a free spirit with an infinite soul who cannot and should not be caged. It is time to forge your own path through life and create everything you want. Now, I was about to Freudian slip and say something you want. So there is a specific something for some of you that you have been working on, or something that has been in your craw, in your brain, for a long time, childhood even. And I'm hearing that over this Sagittarius moon, it's time to plant those seeds and get it started. Also, I'm feeling this really terrible pain in my back, on the left-hand side of my lower back. It's kind of like the middle to the lower back. So I'm hearing to stretch more, do yoga, take care of yourself. I'm like moving around in the chair trying to get comfortable, but it doesn't really feel like mine. So take really good care of yourselves. Maybe for this, over this new moon, like whenever you watch this, it's timeless. But from the time you watch this until the end of whatever moon cycle you're watching it in, every day do a little something for yourself, for your physical body, because the more you get in touch with your physical body, the more freedom you will have. You won't have limitations. You hear these stories about these parents who had their kids in their late 30s or their early 40s, and people are like, wow, they look amazing, they look better than they've ever looked. And it's like, yeah. And because they know, they're like, well, now I want to stay alive, for my kids. And they start taking better care of themselves because they can't keep up with their kids. They're like, I'm not as young as I used to be. That's why a lot of people joke and say parents, it's a young person's game. It's for physical reasons. But if you get in shape, then you have the freedom to do whatever you want. You can't say, oh, this is happening and that's happening. And I know this is going to be a really tough thing to hear, But fibromyalgia, MS, like all of these things, like there are all of these things that are coming to the surface right now where people are realizing that, they're like, no, nobody in my family ever had that. No. And it's like, yeah, because we can create illnesses in our body if we are weary, if we are tired, if we don't want to fight anymore, if we don't want to deal with shit anymore. How many times have you, gotten sick, got a cold, the flu, something right before you were supposed to go to something you really didn't want to go to, right? And of course, everyone's like, yeah, stay home, don't come to the party. You're going to get everybody sick. I'm so sorry you're going to miss it, and you're sad that you're going to miss it, but there's another part of you that's like, oh, and then all of a sudden you start to feel better, right? You're starting to get better and you're like, maybe I should go to the party. It's like, no, you're getting better because your body doesn't feel heavy and weighted from that sickness that it was feeling, that it had to do something that it didn't want to do. Our minds are very powerful. Watch Sadhguru. Follow him on YouTube. Seriously, like he gives out pearls all the time. I mean, on these little shorts, like there was one he did the other day, and at first I was like, I don't understand what he's trying to say. I really was like, I'm not. But then I like watched it, and by the third time, I'm like, oh, I know what he's trying to say. And basically, he was saying like, we control our mind doesn't control us. We control our body doesn't control us. So if we say I'm sick, I have fibromyalgia, I have most, MS or diabetes or whatever, we are giving into it and we're saying I am a victim and I cannot, and I'm sure there's some of you here that are like, fuck you, and you don't know. And yes, I do. Yes, I do. And if you're new here, welcome. But those of you who've been coming here, you know my story. I have been very sick many times, brink of death sick, 88 pounds, about to die, fucking sick. I understand. And it takes a lot of willpower to change our physical, mental, and emotional reality. One of the best analogies I can give you is if you're thinking of a wagon going down a dirt road, right? Well, if it's fresh dirt and everything's all the same, the wagon's going to go easily on the road, right? But if it rains so much that the road becomes soft, then the most powerful wagon is the one that's going to set the treads for the rest of the wagons, right? And what are you going to do? You're going to follow in the same tread because it's a lot easier to go in the same pathway that everybody else has gone before than trying to go off of that and start your own. Maybe your tires are a little too, you're like really riding in there, but it's uncomfortable, but you just do it because it's easier, or do you go off and start your own path that's better for your wagon, and you make your own tracks. This is the time, and this new moon in Sagittarius in real time, November 23rd, 2022 is when I'm doing it. So we have, a nice 4 weeks to really solidify our energy and align with the universe. We can live wild and free. We get to choose. No more do we say, oh, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. You do have a choice. Sometimes the choice you take is the road less traveled. And I know this is some lumps. Sometimes spirit gives us lumps. But I'll tell you, Sagittarius, I am on. We love you, right? But like we also are real. And freedom is earned. You have to earn your freedom. Otherwise, you keep yourself captive. You keep yourself, locked up in a world, whether it's yours or somebody else's that you've created, co-created, But what does this say? Claim your independence. Maybe for some of you, you've been with someone for a long time, or you've been at a job or your family, and you've stayed tethered because 913. And whenever I call numbers out or animals or anything like that, that's for you to research on your own. It could be the number itself, it could be an angel number, whatever you're drawn to. And also the Pegasus, the fact that you had a Pegasus in your reading is really powerful. So look up the Pegasus spirit medicine. We may get more cards. Let me see. Do we want to pull any more? Do we want to pull any more cards from this deck, Spirit, right now? Okay, they want me to finish reading this, and then I think we're going to go on to another deck. Okay, so I'm going to read this again. You are a free spirit with an infinite soul who cannot and should not be caged. It is time to forge your own path through life and create everything you want and anything you want, regardless of how regardless of how others think you should live. And this is family and friends, work, right? You need to be able to have freedom. Otherwise, you're just going to feel caged. At the beginning of this, when we were choosing, which reading, I spoke of the mantra that Spirit already gave us for 2023, and it's set your soul free in 2023. Set your soul free. What does your soul desire? What does your heart desire? Look at how calm and peaceful. Look at how absolutely calm and peaceful this beautiful angel is on top of, it's an angel on top of, do they have wings too? No. Sorry, I didn't mean to. But do you see how peaceful they are? I'm going to go up a little bit. Look at how peaceful they are. Look at how peaceful the Pegasus is. They're free. There's no tension in their face. There's no scowled, furrowed brow. It's just peace and serenity. And this is your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to seek freedom, to really harness this Sagittarius energy and seek freedom in your life. This says, you may have held back to please someone or to protect yourself from judgment. You may have put your dreams on hold, believing they are too wild and outrageous, or that you don't deserve a life that magical. But you do. And you may have been waiting for approval from someone who will never, ever give it to you. Now your heart is calling you to freedom. It is time to create the reality that will light you up the most and allow you to be true to your soul. It is time to break the chains of limitation that delay your dreams and remember that anything is possible. It is time to stop caring what others think of your life or your life choices, or how envious they may be for your freedom. Do it anyway. This beautiful winged horse invites you to ride on her back, high above judgments and into the magic of infinite possibilities. She encourages you to fly free, to let your hair stream in the wind and take pleasure in your new life. You are a free spirit. Soar into your wondrous life and never look back. Ooh, 1227. You guys, I just got the chills all over my body. Oh my gosh. Do we want to pull any more? Okay, this one, I was like, I barely even moved it. Okay, so here we go. Look at that. I'm going to come in here. Partnership. So interesting. So I feel like, yeah, this could be a partnership. And maybe, it's really hard to break free because at one point you were like this on the same path. Maybe at one point they believed in things like you did. And that was like, for me, what shocked me was like some of my childhood friends, the way they treated me when I looked down was exactly 13 minutes. So 13 is the number of the goddess. And if you're, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm being choked. Work with your throat chakra, speak your truth. But if you're drawn to any other readings, go look at them, go check them out. I'm feeling, especially for some of you, the witch, yeah, like your witchy wants to talk to you there because that was the goddess energy that came through. Okay, so for some of you, it is the partnership. But yeah, I was going to say, I was really devastated. I thought my friends would be like, oh yeah, that makes so much sense about you. Because a lot of people did. Some people were like, oh, that makes sense that you're like that. I always knew you were different and, whatever. But like, it makes sense that you're a medium, And then other of my friends were like, dude, shut the fuck up. And I'm like, dude, you've known me my whole life. How many times have I and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. I was like, you know what? I don't want to explain I got tired of explaining myself because people would go, I know you. I know how you are. I've known you your whole life. I've known you since you were born. I would hear these kind of things. And I would say, yes. And don't you remember this? No. I'd be like, don't you remember that? No. I'm like, that's convenient. Well, I do. And was what was happening to me. Now I know why I was so weird and why you thought I was queer and all these things. I'm like, because I wasn't like everybody else and neither are you. That's why they're having me come down to your beautiful and your magic. A lot of your magic is on the inside, but it's time for you to show it on the outside and not let anything or anyone hold you back. And if they don't like it, they're seriously going to have to lump it because this is who you are. Okay. Now on the lighter side of that, I want to bring this forward. It says teamwork will give you a better result. Find trustworthy people to partner with. Build up a talented support team. Yes. So for some of you, I'm getting this really hardcore. This has come through before for our tribe, and it's going to probably keep coming through until we like adhere the messages. But you need to reach out through social media, through local, crystal shop, coffee shop, anything, or anyone that you know, and try and find roommates. I'm hearing for some of you, you're like, but where am I going to go? Where am I going to live? And Spirit's like, just please leap and we will catch you. You don't know what's going to happen. When I first moved to the Pacific Northwest, I put in an ad on, or I don't remember if I put in an ad or if either way, it doesn't matter. Long story short, I ended up meeting one of my dearest friends who changed my life. Changed my life. Kept reminding me how special I was, kept telling me how great I was like, gosh, I'm so sorry that you had so many people around you that like doubted you. She's like, I felt your magic the second you walked through my door, and they saved my life. And it was a roommate. It was for a room for $500. We actually shared a 1-bedroom. We made the living room her bedroom, and the bedroom was my bedroom. And the kitchen and the bathroom were in the middle. So it was kind of nice that we had like our space. And we really helped each other through a really tough time. And it was only $500 a month. And I got a job working at a vintage store. And it wasn't much. It was just some cash under the table, but it was enough to keep me going. It was enough to keep my phone on, to keep my rent and food. And, it wasn't, I don't even think I made $1,000 a month, but I knew that I had to change. I knew that it was time for me to become I knew I was different. I knew I was special, and I knew it was time for me to become who I was. So, but if I hadn't found that roommate, I don't know if I would have really, you know what I mean? Like Vivian was like placed in my life exactly when I needed her. And she saved me. She saved me. And she was much younger than me, and she looked at the world through different eyes than I did, and I needed that. I needed her youth and her ambiguity and just this beautiful like creative angel. So you don't know who you're going to meet or what's going to happen. Do you want to pull any more cards, Spirit? I feel like this is your message. Do you want to pull any more cards right now? Okay. Okay. I'm just running out of time and I wanted to make sure. Yeah, Spirit said, remember that teamwork makes the dream work. And I moved here 11 and a half years ago, and I'm finally like about to move into my dream. It takes time sometimes. You will get there, but you have to start somewhere. And if you don't start now, it's just going to be another month, another year, another 5 years of your life, and until you finally say like enough is enough. I want to live my dream. I want to live my life. I want to have freedom. And not only that, but like once you find like where you're meant to go. Sorry, I was fussing. They were fussing. Then I realized what they wanted me to do. Do you see this? It's like you are a leader. I was going to put them the other way and they're like, no. I was going to have them like, they're like, no, because this is you. And think about this. They're saying, if not for you, do it for them, because there are other people who are waiting for you to step out and step forward because they need your leadership. They need you. Younger generations, there are so many people who need you. Now, that's not like to make you feel like stressed or guilty or anything like that. But like, I feel like you're just a white lighter. And that's what they're trying to say is like, we need your light. And whoever you're giving your light to, it's not that they don't deserve it. It's just that like, that's what they're choosing. Now you need to choose freedom. And once you find trustworthy people to partner with, it's all gonna fall into place. Because you know what happened? I met her, and a few weeks later when I moved in, I met her best friend who became my best friend. And the three of us, like, we did so much together. I'm not kidding you. We like changed the world. I knew it. There were moments like we met people, like would be out together. I mean, I can go into so many things, but I needed that. And then the irony was, then when I came into my gifts, it was me. Before it was me like chasing, this. It was me like chasing, partnership and friends and people like me. And I was like, why? I just want people, why can't I find people like me? And Spirit's like, they're right here. They're right in front of you. Then in the meantime, now it's become more like this. The irony is, and they're both light workers, but you know what I mean? It's like now they come to me for readings. They come to me for guidance. Because for some of them, I'm almost, 2 decades older. So even though they've got life experience in some ways, I've got like real old school, you know what I mean? Like I'm 50 years old. So, there's no time like the present. And it's time for you to step into your leadership role. And the partnership, you'll find that person that you can be yourself 100% all the time. And your work and your family, right? Because family are the friends that we make for, friends are the family we make for ourselves. It really is true. And you may come back to your family and you may not, but you know what? Spirit's got you. You're not going to fall. Do you see that? Do you see how they got you? Where the light's hitting? It's time. It's time, you guys. I love you so much. Until next time, take really good care of yourselves and each other. You can do this. I believe in you, and Spirit believes in you. And if you weren't supposed to be here right this second, right this moment, you wouldn't be. So, till next time, blessed be Al.